So we have a little something different for you guys. Talk a little tennis and reacquainted once again with Jasmine Pollack. Jasmine, how's it going?
Pretty good. How's it going? I'm really excited about today to talk about some women's sports. So I'm really excited. So let's get into it.
For sure, for sure. Coco Gauff. I mean, this lady, 20 years old. First of all, she was fortunate alongside with LeBron to have to be the flag bearer at the Olympics, which is a very big deal. The
Hmm.
fact that, at the age of 20, she gets to do this. She had a solid Olympic run. She won the second round singles match against Argentina's Maria Lourdes Carly. She also had a victory in her singles match in which she became the youngest American woman to do this at the Olympics since Venus Williams in 2000.
Hmm.
Now, Jasmine, let me tell you this. The first time I heard about Serena and Venus came in summer 2000, which at the time it was at Sydney, the Sydney Olympics in 2000. And that was the first time, and I was in summer school at the time, but I remember the teacher mentioning Venus and Serena Williams, these two sisters. They were, obviously super young and they were great tennis players. And the fact that 24 years later, we see that Coco is now being mentioned the same sentence as Venus Williams in terms of accomplishments
Yeah.
the Olympics. It just goes like, wow, time flies. But she had a solid run. Unfortunately, it was bittersweet because of she lost to Croatia's Donna Večić, which but
Yeah.
before she lost to her, she was getting into this back and forth with the referee.
Yep.
And this this is something that she's gonna have to improve going forward
Agree.
in terms of mental strength. When something doesn't go your way, you have to like find a way to snap out of it, get your head in
Right.
the game. And from what I saw, it looked like after she went in this back and forth with the referee, like her game was a little off after that. As much as she would probably would deny it, or she probably did deny it, but us, sports people who watch it, mental strength is a big
Yeah,
factor.
it is. I agree. When you talk about mental strength, and just to piggyback, shout out to Coco Gauff for what she was able to accomplish at such a young age, at 20 years old, being I think she was the youngest flag bearer, if I'm not mistaken, alongside with LeBron James, of course, and just having that moment was very monumental. But when we talk about, I'm there's nothing wrong if you want to challenge something of a referee or umpire and just say, you know what, hey, can we check this out a little bit and things like that. But it's been twice in the Olympics that she's done that, because she did that for the qualifying round, I believe, where she was looking at her coach and like, what do I do? What do I do? And things like that, and like whining. And you don't want to put yourself in that, light, especially as fans, especially tennis. The tennis world is very tough. I worked at a tennis complex for a year, and I understand how they are professionals and how they regard the sport. They're very, very professional. They're very animated. Very much so are very animated. But I want her to be more just calm and collected and just be cool about it. Of course, you can be upset, but I think that also comes with youth as well. And she's chasing a lot. I mean, there's a lot on her shoulders. She is in great company with Serena and Venus Williams and a lot of other, top women in tennis. And when you're in the same breath and the same sentence as those women, there is a certain standard that I feel she has to carry herself as. And I just want her to just relax, just relax and not let it get to you. Just enjoy the moment, and you're going to continue to get better. She has a whole career ahead of her. She's getting better. Just yesterday, during the National Bank Open in Canada, she rolls past Yafan Wang in Toronto. So I mean, she's already doing her thing. She's still, winning and still, progressing in her career. But this is an experience. This is a moment, and I want her to just, absorb the moment and be smart about it, because people are going to continuously come at you if they feel like they can get up under your skin to mess up your game. That's what they're going to do, especially in the sport of tennis.
So it's interesting you said that you used to work at a tennis complex. So for those of us who may not know how that is, how was the experience like? What did you do there?
Yeah,
And for how long
so
would you did it for?
yeah, so working alongside tennis athletes, you have so at the job that I had, a couple years ago, you had tennis coaches who train, the kids and adults. So you had a couple of coaches that were very advanced. You had other coaches. We had two other coaches that were kind of like intermediate if you're a beginner, especially for young children. Then they also trained adults, like because we had actual leagues, USTA leagues. That's a big league in Florida, USTA. And we had a lot of those big tournaments on Saturdays and Sundays. So it's a very big routine. It's not just, oh, you just show up and whatever. No, it's you check in. Hey, I'm playing with this person. This is my team that I'm playing for. If you're playing doubles or singles, you would, inform us of that and things of that nature. You would check in, make sure the courts are kept. We had clay courts and we had hard courts. So the difference is, if people don't know, I'm sure you watched it, when you see certain players playing on that clay, that's what you call a soft court. Very, very awesome on the joints that we've received from like older players from the tennis complex, of saying that the softer courts are good on their joints. It's much softer when they're jumping around and things like that. But the only scary thing is it slides. So if you're not wearing the proper footwear, you can have like a, pull something, tear something, and things of that nature. And if it rains, then that's a big problem as well when dealing with clay courts. Hard courts are that spongy court, but again, that's hard on the joints. So older a lot of older tennis players don't like playing on hard courts because of that solid surface, and they're not getting that same spring they would get on the clay court. So seeing a lot of the tennis players that you see them playing on clay courts a lot in a lot of these big tournaments, and of course they still play on hard courts as well. But it's a huge thing. It's a very interesting sport. It's very, very competitive, very professional. How you carry yourself, how you speak, and just the training is ridiculous. And we also, at the tennis complex as well, we had a what you call a ball machine. So you would get an hour on it. You would pay to do that for like an hour. So you're practicing with the machine. You can up the level of speed, and that helps and it shoots at different spots to get active and things like that, of how to hit the ball a particular way, how hard to hit it, and things like that. So tennis is a very, very fun sport, and I commend a lot of these tennis players that they're doing that, because it is a very tough sport. It's a very tough sport.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I learned a lot just by you telling me
Yeah.
um your experience there. For how long did you work there?
About a year. About a year, yeah. And I learned a lot within a year.
I bet. I mean, Jesus. But yeah, I could tell that when you look at sports like golf and tennis, it's fun when you play. I mean, when you watch on TV is one thing. When you play
Right.
is so much fun, but it's a lot of concentration, a lot of stamina, a lot of everything that goes into it. So one thing you could see on TV, but when you get to practice it, is a whole different ball game.
Yes. 100%. 100%.
So the next Olympics will be in LA, Los Angeles, 2028.
Yep.
Coco will be 24 at that time. I believe that should be, not could be, but should be her moment.
Should be 100%, because again, she's young. She's 20 years old. I mean, that's a big thing. Being that young and being in that moment, it's a very big stage. And I think as time goes on, she's going to learn. And then in between that time, she's going to be attending different opens and different tournaments. Of course, that's going to prep her for that. So I think in LA for sure, I believe she's going to show out and really do. I think she's going to do gold. I think she's going to attain gold and really put herself in a much bigger platform. And especially her, I believe her inspirations are Serena. Of course, if you're a young woman in tennis, that would be your inspiration, is Serena Williams and Venus Williams. They are the standards, especially Serena, of course. So I think that her chasing that, I 100% think that she's going to do very well in the next 4 years when she comes to LA for the Olympics.